I put a context around sticking to your guns, actually. And each one of you have an interesting story about sticking to your guns, actually. Normally in my home, my wife starts, so I always have a lot of respect for women. So how about you, Neeru? Give a heads up to everyone. What's your story about sticking to your gun? It's an interesting one. I'm sure everyone wants to learn from you here.
I completed my MBA, and this was in 2004 when I completed my MBA, and then I joined Amazon. And I was working with the M&A finance division, and that is where there was a couple of us. So the founding team of Infibeam is people who were working together at Amazon in Seattle. So Vishal Mehta, who happens to be our CEO, he was actually heading the business development part of Amazon, and we worked very closely together. Hence, this idea flourished that, you know what, India we know is a vacuum. I was doing M&A finance. As part of that exercise, I realized that there was a vacuum in India when it came to e-commerce, because we were thinking of investing or acquiring a company in India, and there was none that came at par at what the US standards were. So we thought that, you know what, maybe we should go back and do something entrepreneurial there. Couple of discussions, a few months down, and we decide that, you know what, high time. Let's just book the ticket and go back to India, do something there. We came back, and now I think it was 2008 when first e-commerce transaction happened on Infibeam. Since then, we have evolved into a company who is also doing platform solutions, who's also retail happens to be a big chunk of what we do. We have grown international. We were the first company to enter into a OO domain. We acquired that. And sky is the limit. I think it keeps growing. It keeps getting more interesting by the day.
Oh, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. That's an interesting story.
I graduated from computer science engineering at Bangalore. Got a job in SAP Labs, development research. A dream job at that point of time, getting into SAP. Worked there for about a year. Fantastic organization. But this bug was always there, saying we have to do something. Three basic principles that we were working on. Create something for the country. Why? Very, very simple, basic mathematics what we did. India is a country of 100 million, 1,000 million people, right? Approximately 1 billion. So anyway I dissect, the nichest thing that I can do, I will have 1 million customers. And ironically, or rather I would say fortunately, what we were building never existed in the world. Right? So I can't go and tell someone, okay, we are doing something like Google or we are doing something like Uber. So I go and explain. So the scenario is something like this. Someone has only seen a dog in their life. And I am going to talk about elephant. So how do I explain this guy what an elephant looks like? He has only seen a dog. So I go to him, I say, okay, elephant is a beautiful animal. It has 4 legs, it has a tail, and it does loud noises. And this guy says, oh, dog you are talking about. So that's the kind of scenario we had in market. And you had to go to internet, right? So 2007, and you had to go to internet. It was a place. Today we are always connected. So all of these challenges, we said, we'll figure it out, no problem. We went out, every day we'll learn. We'll go in the market, we'll learn from the customers, pitch something, come back. Learn from the customers, pitch something, come back. In 2008, when we had around 70, 80 beta customers in first 3 months traction itself, we went and did things which were so futuristic. So today we talk about grocery delivery, home delivery of food, local services, getting maids to your doorstep, right? You will not believe all of these were integrated in our first version of the product. The entire journey was very good. The people that we got associated was amazing. Our customers taught us a lot of things. I see, and I have seen about nearly, this is our 8th year of existence. So every 3 years there is a new cycle. There is a supposedly a new wave. This is our 3rd cycle. Every 3 years we reinvent ourselves. In the first 3 years of our existence, we are just doing communities. The next cycle, we started getting into real estate. By 2012, with zero marketing, we were #1 real estate player in Bangalore, under the radar. This next, right, the current cycle that we are into, and every time we got a little comfortable, the cycle changed, right? So again, you have to reinvent stuff. So that has been our journey. Probably through the oral discussion, I will start sharing some of the...
Okay, thanks. Sudhakar, equally interesting story, and you have a different definition, serial. You are a parallel entrepreneur actually. So share with everyone what do you mean by sticking to your guns?
When I started my entrepreneurial stint, I started with this company called Ad Infusion. Now, Ad Infusion is one of the earliest entertainment marketing companies in the country. I did some research and then figured out that in-film product placements are promoting a brand through content, because people consume content willingly. They pay for a ticket and go to watch a film, so they consume it by paying a price. So we felt that why not integrate brand message into content. So that's what we started the journey there. Probably 7 years, 8 years down the line, the challenge or the fire in the belly when I started the company, I realized that it is missing. And it's a niche company. We are in a subset of marketing. It's a niche company. It's a profitable company. We are a small team, but we are fairly profitable, making a couple of crores in profits. It's a good time to be in. But I felt that I am destined to do bigger things in life. And I started it all over again. In a completely enchanted territory with a educational institution ERP tool. We realized that the market is not ready, or they are very happy. At the similar time, one thing that happened is that people were selling ERPs for cheap, like the one-time fees of about 10,000, 15,000 rupees. You manage to get a ERP solution, and you get a SMS for 3 paisa, 5 paisa. So schools are very happy with their kids saying that your kid is is absent today. That's the only communication that they need. They're happy with whatever they got. And when it comes to selling it to schools and colleges, I was way off the mark, and I was used to selling it to all these blue chip marketers talking about crores of rupees. But it is very, very difficult to sell it to schools and colleges. And we almost lost the face. We burned all the money. At least I burned all the money, because I was hiring big guys from IITs and my marketing background and all this stuff. We were completely off the track. We were caught off guard. We were focusing too much on building a great product without realizing, is the market ready for this kind of a product, or are people willing to pay for it? We were completely maniacally focused on product. We said, we're going to build a great product. We're going to build this ERP, which is a kick-ass communication tool and an analysis tool where it will give you an analysis of your kid. It will predict what are your kid's strengths, how is it going in subject by subject, and we've built a kick-ass product. But market doesn't understand the difference between communication and analysis. They're happy with the ERP tool. They're happy with the school management softwares and all this stuff. So I believe that a conviction is one thing that differentiates entrepreneurs. I think I have it in abundance. That's what I believe. And that's the journey. You fall and you get up, you realize. I think making mistakes is quite natural. You tend to get seduced by the business opportunity. You tend to get seduced by the millions of dollars you can raise. You can get seduced by by someone who's raising millions of dollars. You think you're better capable, or you're capable than him in raising funds. So you get seduced by that. But I think the only thing that really makes the difference is, do you have the conviction, or do you really believe in the idea? Do you believe in yourself, and you have the passion to go the extra mile and make a difference?
So one observation, I think you've already arrived actually, because you handled Mallika Sherawat, so that's kind of big ticket. I haven't done it. None of us have done it. I have a question, and let's just start with you, Neeru. Is that once you set out, right? You quit your job, you're used to big money, everything is working fine. You're on a purpose, and I know you shared with me how you knocked on every publisher's door in Daryaganj actually. So what keeps you on? Because I'm sure, I know you're a bootstrapped company. What keeps you on? Because it's not an easy journey actually. So what ensures that every day morning you look at yourself and say, you know what, I'm going to give my best today, and I'm going to be successful. This company is going to be successful.
See, I think if you ask me what keeps me going, I think there are two eyes. One is independence. And when I say independence, it is independence of what you want to do, independence on who is the team that you want to work with. Independence is when you want to work, because So entrepreneurs think, I mean, so as an entrepreneur, I have worked in a set curriculum. I have worked with Tata Consultancy Services and Alcatel, Lucents and Amazons of the world, where there was a set time. I mean, you reach office at that time. This is the time when everybody typically leaves, etc. Now, coming into a crazy entrepreneurial schedule, what kept me going was that, you know what, I was always working. So even today, I'm always working. Why? Because this is something I am doing for passion, and nobody ever told me to work all the time. I'm doing this for myself. So as I was telling you earlier, when we came back here, and the first part that we had to do as an e-commerce entity was we had to go and get this digital catalog. Otherwise, what would you sell? So I remember that we had to call up so many publishers, and we would keep calling them again and again, and the Infibeam.com passport did not work. What was Infibeam.com? So the passports that I was using was this Carnegie Mellon passport and an Amazon passport. That, you know what, we are coming with so much experience and we are really educated people, and give us some time to hear us out. And when we went to them, a lot of them, I mean, couldn't even understand this digital world, and they were like, ki, thoda time sunne ke baad, they were like, ki, okay, so maybe we have an online guy. Why don't you go and talk to him and we'll send him there? So it was, I mean, for me, I took it in our stride, because it was almost, had I been that business mentality and a business woman, I would have taken it in an offensive manner, but I was an entrepreneur. Come on, I mean, then the challenge was how to make this person believe in your idea. How could he say this? Then you created all those nice slides and decks and those polished words, and you know what? We just want to launch one of your titles. Can you at least start with that? At no cost. So that is where things started. We had to knock each and every publisher's door. I mean, so I was living in Seattle. We were living on Mercer Island, and we had this fancy house and fancy cars. And there I was in a small office in Daryaganj, and who wanted to drive in Daryaganj? So I was totally on road. But then that is what kept me driving, because I was doing this for myself. I mean, so this is like, if I am a mom of 2 girls. So there's a lot of help I can get, and I can afford. But there's a lot of fun in actually cleaning them, bathing them on my own. So this was just something like that. I mean, being an entrepreneur is like, the second eye that I want to point is, you always, once an entrepreneur is always an entrepreneur. So you think this is not working, you think that as a business person, perhaps you had it been 10 years 10 years before, you would think that, you know what, this is the set business model which is working. But as one of my friends rightly pointed out here, that as soon as you realize the formula changes, right? Hence, you have to be on your toes. You're always confronted with so many ideas. How do you pick and choose? How do you innovate in a small business environment? And having that lean structure where everybody is approachable, and we are all driven towards business and getting work, and you know what, building this. I think that is what kept me going all these years, and this still continues. We are a 1,300 people team now. But you know what? If I was frank, I know almost the 200 people that I work with by names. We are a family. We work together. I know that there is strengths and capabilities that each of us is bringing to the table, and we are together on one mission. I think that's the most important thing.
Wow.